Good morning, ladies. Jen here to talk about contouring and highlighting. I'm actually going to do this in a two-step series. The first step is kind of a daytime contour. I have a work appointment I have to head out the door for shortly, so I don't want to go all glam for it because it looks a little made up for just a daytime. And then when I come back this afternoon, I will do part two where I amp up the contouring so I can show you how you can layer it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I have my base done. I have tinted moisturizer, a little pearlizer I mixed in with the tinted moisturizer. My eyes today, oh, I put everything away, but I think I can remember. I did Rosa, which is this really pretty warm coral color as a base. And then Sandstone Shimmer is my highlight. And then the darker color is the Garnet. I did go in with the Garnet, and I also used the Garnet for my eyebrows and my eyeliner. So Garnet's also one of those eyeshadows that you can actually use for contouring. So the basis of contouring, you're going to get some posts throughout the day that talk about highlighting and contouring. Some of it is based on shape, face shape. My face shape is usually kind of an oval to round. So I try to, as you can see by the graph, well, not graph, the picture I gave you, it shows you where you should contour to enhance based on your facial features. So for me, that's in this area here, down through here, because contouring actually decreases. When you darken something, you shade it, you decrease it. So what I want to do is I want to decrease this area here to make it look cutting, like I've cheekbones, and then I want to decrease this area here, because what it does is if I decrease this area here, it elongates my face and kind of makes it more narrow and longer. I usually it doesn't really recommend this based on my face shape, but I have this little double chin that I've like forever had. I usually will, you can see it right now, I'll usually shade that a little bit and it just kind of melts away. So for my face shape, I'm going to contour here, here, and then I do a little bit here because I want to elongate my face. So let's just go ahead and get started. I have this little kabuki brush that I use that is for my contouring. I'm going to start with Toasted Rose. Toasted Rose is one of our cream blushes, and it would provide a very, very natural contour. For my skin tone, it's not really enough, but I want to show it to you anyway. So I just add a little bit here underneath the cheekbones, which you can barely see, right? So then I'll go up softly with it. Do you see how I do have, it does create a little line for me? It gives my face some definition. That's certainly not enough to go up along here. But I just wanted to show you, if you have a little bit more, I have fairly dark olive type skin. A winter color for me is medium. The tinted moisturizer is a medium. I would say my summer color is kind of medium deep, so I do have a little darker tone. So that's the Toasted Rose. Let's amp it up a little bit I'm actually going to use the deep, look at that, deep tinted moisturizer. I have this little packet here I'm going to take it from though, because I tested it before I bought it to make sure I liked it. And I'm gonna get started by just tapping a little deep on my little brush. Oop, that was way too much. That was way too much. I'm gonna take that off. So I would look like a clown if I left that much on here. So here's the thing, start light. So I wiped it off and I'm gonna start, see, that's pretty dark. So I just tapped it in. Now I'm gonna take another brush here. I'm gonna buff it away. I'm buffing up. And the beautiful part about this product, honestly, is if you get too heavy, like if this was too dark, which this isn't, this actually, once I get some blush on and I finish contouring, it's going to look really good. And for my evening look, I'm actually gonna go in with even more. So I still have some on my brush here. So now I'll finish contouring these other areas here. I'm not going to contour up here because again, I'm elongating my face. I'm gonna take a little here. Watch this. Now, if you were to look at this up close, it looks muddy right now because it's not blended. So I'll take my little blender and buff that away. And I'm thinning out my face. And the beautiful part about our products is they do melt as they dry, they blend into your skin. So obviously you can see a lot more definition here. Now the crazy part is when I start adding highlights in, how the definition really pops. Because now I'm taking these shaded colors and I'm lightening the opposite by raising, lightening, highlighting raises those surfaces. So here, I'm gonna raise, here, 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 and here. Because I want this to be my focus. So then this just kind of melts and disappears. So this is my contouring for a day look. I used, again, the deep tinted moisturizer. I started with the Toasted Rose just to show you what it would look like. Now let's do some highlighting. Some of my favorite highlighting products. Well, one of my very favorite is the Pearlizer. You cannot go wrong with Pearlizer. You can use our shadows as well. I definitely feel like, for instance, I'll show you. This is a Sandstone Pearl. This is really good for highlighting the eye. But I don't personally care to use it for my highlighter because it's so shiny. And so if I took a big fluffy brush, it would really disappear. But I'm going to take one of these little angle brushes and I'm going to pat it so it stays really bright. Actually, I kind of jumped ahead. I shouldn't have done this next. But I want to show you my other trick for my under eye brightness. So I'll probably have to go in. This is the Sandstone Pearl Matte, which we talked about contouring before, right? Where you swipe down in a triangle. So what I'm doing is I am brightening this under eye area. I feel like I could use a little bit more. See how much brighter that is? And this is just this is the eyeshadow. I always like to kind of start with a little because it goes so far. And this just really brightens my under eye area. And it lasts because these shadows last all day long. And then I'm also going to, whatever's left, just brush here. Look at how bright that is. So that's very pretty. So that's like my base. That's my eye brightening base for highlighting. Another thing I do want to talk about, being I have so much, is contouring your nose. Believe it or not. I have a very round button nose. So I'm just going to take this little brush here, and a little goes a long way. So I'm going to tap it to make sure I don't get too much. I'm just going to contour down my nose and create a shadow. This creates a shadow. Need a little bit more. And because I'm round here, I like to go right here, and then I'll take it and kind of brush it down a little bit with just whatever's left to shadow my nostrils. And again, what makes this really stand out is once you highlight. So that there is a line you can see. But if I take my brush and I soften that out, and once I add my highlighter, that line will be gone. See how it kind of narrowed my nose a little bit? Now let's go with the Pearlizer and do some highlighting, which is fun. So, areas of highlight. In between your brow here, kind of up in this area here. Below your brow, which I do have Sandstone Pearl. I'll kick it up a notch for my evening look. I'm going to go in here, along the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, right there, and right here, and then right in there. So, but I haven't added blush yet. So this is just contour. The eyeshadow I used was this Rosa, which is part of our Fiesta collection. I'm actually going to use that as a blush. I think it's a great spring color. I like to take a little bit of that and add some pearlizer to it because it makes it shiny and it softens it. Our colors are pretty concentrated, although the Rosa itself isn't like the Pink Posy. It's a little bit more sheer. So I'm just going to tap along where I want to focus that blush. What you will see in one of the images that I have attached in one of the posts is based on your face shape is where you should place your brush, your blush, not your brush. So that's really soft. For me, I don't want to get just like this area here. I kind of want to keep it here and save this area for my highlight. You know, make my cheeks look big, but then kind of diminish this here. So look at how pretty that Rosa is. It's just a very soft coral. And that's it. So that, you see the shimmer? That's the pearlizer in there. So let's amp up our highlighting now. And for the day look, I am just going to use the pearlizer, which I have in a bottle like this, but I also love these little travel sizes. I actually got my first travel size when I hosted my first party. So let's go here. Little extra kick. This is youth in a bottle, I tell you. It makes me feel and look immediately like 10 years younger. And this is gonna look really shiny in my light because I have a beacon light shining on my face right now so you can see me. But in the natural light, which I'll take a picture, it's not that bad. See how youthful that looks? And again, it looks shinier. Let's tone down the light here. Let's see if it works. Sometimes it doesn't. See, no, this is turning it down. So, as far as I can tell, that's it. That's the completed look. So we went with soft contour, Rosa and pearlizer for the blush. I highlighted with the, oh, one more. I knew I was forgetting something. Honestly, my favorite darn thing is the eye illuminator. It's the eye cream that has pearlizer in it. So, and I kind of, because I did my highlighting after my pop, you know, I kind of diminished that a little bit. So, but when we do our evening look, I'll certainly add that back into that where I'll really pop with a lot of extra sparkle with the highlight. So I hope you guys got some information from this and you learned, and just play with it. Play with it. Because here's the thing. If I went too dark with this, all you'd have to take is your foundation brush, the one that you use for a foundation, add a little foundation to it, and just tap it along. It's so forgiving. And if you just play with it, I mean, especially now, we have nothing else to do but to play with our makeup, right? No. Take care, everybody. I hope this was informational. Have a great day. It's gorgeous outside. Get outside and get some vitamin D.